impeachment legislation, and I am a person who knows about drafting and those things. I've done a lot of that in my life. I was minister, and I got some help as well, and we produced an updated version of the impeachment bill, and I brought it to Parliament as a private member's bill while in opposition. The Labourites have not let that go forward, even though they had originally committed to impeachment themselves. And when this Constitutional Reform Committee that Mrs. Malahou Fort, the minister, had established, they have said they're not proceeding with impeachment as part of the constitutional reform. So, you know, we are not in favor of that. We are in favor of impeachment being part of it, and even recall. If a sufficient number of constituents are unhappy with the performance of the MP, they should be able to initiate a procedure to have that MP recalled, and they have to wait 5 years to get rid of an MP. This exists in other countries. So we are looking at ways of making our leaders more accountable to the people, so that the people can have better representation and get better performance out of their MPs. But the government has not shown any interest in anything that would make government more accountable to the people. Elected senators, well, that's a very different system to what we have. Currently, the idea in our system is that not everybody wants to put forward themselves to represent and to be political and go out there and look votes and so on. And so the way our Senate is that the Prime Minister and the Leader of Opposition get to appoint persons. And on the whole, we have had high quality Senates as a result. The Senate, that they review legislation much more intensely than the members of the House of Representatives do. And they act as a kind of quality assurance for legislation as a result of the higher levels of rigor and scrutiny that they bring. And so there's some merit in that. But I think the problem is, and most legislation doesn't require a 2/3 majority. It is only legislation that seeks to amend the Constitution in certain ways that requires a 2/3 majority. And the founding fathers said the Constitution is so fundamental, you shouldn't be able to do that unless you have consensus amongst both sides in the Parliament. And I think there's merit to that. The problem is that we have to build through respectful dialogue and discussion. We have to build sufficient trust around the issue that we can agree to move forward with certain things. This government is not interested in consulting with the opposition on things. They think they can just ram it through. I don't know if you call that government badness or what, but they're just intent on moving through. It's their way or the highway, and nothing can go so. We have legitimate concerns and aspects of what is now in Parliament with that bill. We're not in favor of the method of appointing the president that they're proposing, which would effectively allow the Prime Minister to determine who the president is. I don't want that power when I'm Prime Minister. That is too much power for one person to have. We must have a situation where the president enjoys a consensus as being somebody who's independent-minded and of a high reputation and who can do that job at the highest level. So that's one of the issues we have with it. And of course, the CCJ is the other, because we are saying if we're going to finally take the step now, we're getting rid of the monarchy, we're going to be truly a sovereign nation. We can't have the King's Court as our final court, a court which is fundamentally inaccessible to our people. The cost of taking a case there is tens of millions of dollars. Nobody in this audience could afford to bring a case to the Privy Council. And so this is a serious issue for us. We have established the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice. It's been going for nearly 20 years. It's providing judgments of the highest quality. It is a very accessible court. It moves around the region. It will come to Jamaica to hear cases, as it did for Shanique Myrie when she got justice there. But right now, only Barbados, Guyana, Dominica, Belize, and St. Lucia are using it as a final court. Time come for Jamaica to join that court. So, on constitutional reforms, comrade, these issues, I think, are worthy of further thought and discussion. I'm not saying the idea of elected senators is wrong. I'm not saying I don't support it. I'm saying we need to talk it out and see what the implications are. Fixed term limits are another thing, where you can't have somebody being in Parliament or having a position in the top level indefinitely, but you have limits on that. There are other things, fixed election dates. There are lots of issues which need to be thought through. None of those issues are dealt with in this constitutional reform bill that they've brought to Parliament.
Thank you. Next set of questions.
Hey, President, good night. All right, once again, so I get straight to the core of everything, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Golden. I know you have a lot of work by your table, and people If you're on Instagram, you should follow Mr. Golden page, because one thing I like and I'm impressed about you, you attack everything head on. And you're very transparent. And I've been following you, I've been watching you, and I'm impressed. So the first point that I want to talk about is we're going to get to I am a returning resident 2 times. So everybody will say, why you love foreign? No, I don't love foreign. I like the fact that the crime rate in Jamaica is just out of control. Now everybody say, what the government can do? You can impose some sanction, because I can guarantee you, if somebody in Jamaica punches one of Andrew Oldest son or daughter, anybody in the face, he's going to find him in less than 3. But someone punched my kid in the face, he's hard to find. So we've realized that the Jamaica eye only serve the politician, it doesn't serve we as citizens. You know what I'm saying? So they know what they can do. Another thing is, you see this oil thing here? We know oil is here. I mean, I don't know about them. I know, because the news is not being carried by Jamaica. It's carried by the British. These other medias are not going to tell lies about something like that. So you know the importance of this election. This is the most important election. And they know the importance. You know why? Because they know when you come in, there's a lot of things cover up. They can't cover up in so much. So they need to win this, so they can have more time to cover up everything they have been doing. So you know the importance. They are afraid of you. So you know the importance. As I tell Ms. Duncan, say we need to do the right thing, because we can't afford to lose this. You know, so they are doing everything in their powers, because they know that they are afraid of you, and I like how you attack everything. So when the marks about the corruption, that's true, because when you go around, on both sides, everybody say, well, you know, no matter which party you vote for, corruption is there, so you can make a change. Sometimes I know, say, most of these MPs that's running are your friend, them kids growing up, but you have to make an example out of one, so it set a precedent. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Because one thing, you know, I can only relate back to America. If a politician step out of line, you notice whether the money wise or whatever, he's sitting in jail. We see that, so sometimes you have to make an example out of one. You get what I'm saying? Another thing, I mean, how can we get a better water dam? Why we can't get a better hospital structure? Like KPH is not it. I have a lot of people that's from overseas who come to my event. My father had a thing last year at my event that nobody believing in the medical system. Because when I look at KPH, it's just, you know what I'm saying? So if you and I know, even the young kid in Burkina Faso, Abraham Toure, I'm impressed by him. So we need to take a page out and put like that. Because we need Jamaica need a better water structure, and especially Kingston, we need a better hospital system. I don't believe in the hospital system, honestly. That's my biggest fear. Because when they go in there, you just see death all over it, because it's so atrocious. So I mean, no matter what they do, we can do better as a country. We pay the highest tax. Jamaica must have won 17%. So you're not giving us back in tax return. Well, give us back in some structure. We can do better on that. And another thing, the last thing I want to say is, there's a lot of people in my situation. A lot of people ask, how you do it? A lot of kids who come back home. I think the country doesn't pay attention to with the mass deportation that's going on, the people that won't get deported. You know, it's like them don't stand a chance. There's no rehabilitation system for them. There's nothing. So them definitely give up in the system. Because most of them become go find them community. And then most of them just mad out because, you know, they don't know what to do. There's nothing for them. I remember at the end of the day, sometimes the other party get hold of them, take the vote, push them back out. So them become the numbers that build up the other party. So we have to figure out a structure for them for no say. These votes are important too, because they are back home. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to about nothing. They just lost to the whole country. So most of them just get caught up by people to send them to go do dirty work, crime or whatever. So there's some look, but I know you have a lot on your table, you know. Cause trust me, I watch and I know. So, you know, when you win, do what you can do, but just pay attention to these little things. Cause these are some easy kills. You get what I say? So a lot of people like come home and they're confused. They're like, them try to question me. Like I said, I have a lot of friends in the States who have like organization. One of them is Last Foundation. I'm trying to do something with the old people, them they're asking me. So people want to do stuff, but them just don't believe in the Jamaican system because there's so much corruption on all angles. You know, but like I said, I wish you luck. I know you're definitely going to win.
Good night. Well, me hear everybody talk. I mean, I listen. But me not touch one topic about me like from the Labour Party coming it about me. But me I watch and I observe. Who want back who bus them? The bus system poor. Mark Golding, me don't know where the Labour do the bus them. You see before them come, we have me a check. We have about 78. We have about 477. We have about 361. We have about 266. We have about 3 or 468. No bus. You don't bus stop to the foot, them tired. Them claim say bus fare of $100. Okay, we hear $50 for the bus there. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Bus fare $100 with turn up 3-4 hours. That don't make no sense, sir. Me foot them tired and my daughter she stressed out and she just sick. And the taxi them that kill we. When the Korean Jew at $250. When it fall at $300, half a tree. And even have it, you turn up there till much a clock. Even have a conscience husband or a conscience, I feel like a money have pan them. Can you turn up a bus up and we can't come home? Them need, sir. Why Papa and them again I come vote for you? Why you get out that man there? Right now. Who want back with us? We want back with we yellow bus. Who wants the bus run pan time? We can't up pick them 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7:30. We have to turn up too long, sir. We're tired of them. Oh, it's never talk about Portmore. Them can't get Portmore. Portmore done this already. So them take their mind off of Portmore. So here what? Miss Patricia, darling, I am Prince Joseph's wife. You come to my yard and meet me. Me say, if me say go for me and they see what a boy them, me say if them not come out, me I bring one belt. Cause me say no why you give it back with bus them. That way people them can go to school on time. Yeah. Look like say I pay labor ride one taxi or something. Cause them the taxi them enough. And what?
Probox.
No. Eh?
The Probox there.
Probox? Sir, me ignorant. Me ignorant for them nasty green people that we about them agree. Them green like green.
Yeah. Like Skellion.
Alright, have a good night.
So, Peter, a question to you. Peter Phillips was talking over JC doing Champstown one time. And said, young man, when you're doing athletics now, it's not a joke, it's not a sport anymore. It's a career. Because he said that when Bolt came back from 2008 Olympics, being at him had done a commercial for the tourism market in China, in Miss World, China. He wanted Bolt to do advertisement for Champro because Peter Phillips at that time was finance and was a trade and investment minister and whatever. And said, Jesus Father, man, when Bolt told us what was the cost of doing a commercial with using it, so I'm going to believe. And Bolt sympathized with him and do it for him free. Now, me come from Trinidad. You understand me? And I go back down there and whatever. You sleep on JC tractor or whatever. So what? Now the thing is this now, yam on the international market, them say Jamaica sell yam more than Nigeria. You understand me? And one of the reasons why you have this yam market so big in Jamaica is because of Bolt and what Bolt was saying about yam and whatever. Right? Now you have this SSL thing with Bolt and whatever. Right? And I was saying that to the minister, the agriculture minister, if them could use Bolt as an ambassador for yam. You understand me? As a way of promoting it. There's a place called. Them also said that they're going to move the yam export down 3 miles the place where them packaging or whatever, that was going to move somewhere else. So we don't know where we're going to go or whatever, but if it can go down at Trillian, because Trillian there's so much yam down there, we don't really appreciate that. Alright, next thing now. Is the COVID crisis, what has gone? A lot of the farmers, a lot of the market vendors, a lot of manufacturers got caught in it. And a lot of us have what I call jail time or a police record or whatever. No, it wasn't done out of provocation or breaking the system at all. It's just that we got caught because what happened is that we had delivery packages upon us. So all of us have police record now concerning the COVID crisis. So that like if something could be done to remove the police record. Yes, right? And we paid money or whatever, right? We go in court or whatever. But what happened is that because when we went court, it was so simple for the court to charge us with the system. It was a situation we couldn't explain ourselves. So we don't like forget we don't do a damn police record from our system. Right? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, comrades. Comrade, the question raised has to do with crime and oil in Jamaica, which I think you spoke about earlier. The state of our hospitals, how do we engage our young people, particularly those who are now coming back from the United States? And our comrades spoke passionately about the transportation system, and particularly our children. And the final comrade spoke about how do we market. I don't believe he wants us to be specific about yam, but Mr. Agricultural produce and the issue of COVID and those who were detained during that period. So over to you, comrades at the table.
Right. Well, on the issue of the Jamaicans who are returning, and we know that the current US government has a more aggressive posture towards illegal immigration, and they're promising to send back large numbers of persons. So we definitely need to prepare for that. You know, we can't just have a situation where those persons come, you do some vetting to see if any of them need to be taken into the criminal justice system here, and if not, they're just on their own, because they are going to be obviously displaced persons. Some of them will not have strong ties here. They won't have the kind of support that they need to reintegrate. So there needs to be a program developed for that. And we're having dialogue around that already as to how we'd approach it. And I think it's something we're going to have to partner with the NGO community as well, both here and overseas. There are a couple of NGOs already that help with that process, but as the numbers grow, it's going to need more state intervention. So it is something that is exercising our mind for sure. On the condition of the hospitals, well, we have a situation where the health system is really in crisis. You know, and Kingston Public Hospital right now, I'm not sure what the situation is today, but when I spoke in the budget debate, and it probably hasn't changed, 4 theatres were out, operating theatres were out because of mold. So it's an old facility. I mean, the Kingston Public Hospital is like a couple of 100 years old, and you know, we may have to start thinking about replacing it with another facility and putting it somewhere else, you know, at some point. But that's a major project that would take a lot of planning and so on. In the meantime, we're going to need to do much better with the facilities that we already have. And Dr. Alfred Dawes, who is our health spokesman, you know, has committed to focusing on trying to ensure that the facilities that people need, the diagnostics, the testing, the screening, all of those things that will improve our health numbers significantly if we catch conditions earlier, that we focus more on that. In my budget presentation, I spoke to the percentages, the high percentages of cancers, the most prevalent cancers, which are caught late in Jamaica because there's no proper screening program. And of course, the outcomes when you catch those things late are much worse than if you catch them early. If the earlier you catch them, the better the chance of conquering them and having you know, your life continuing for its normal length of time. So there are things we have to do there. This government loves the mega projects. because they love to cut ribbons, and because the nature of mega projects is that money can flow in all sorts of directions. Right? So, you know, we are much more concerned about the basics, getting the basics right for our people, so that when they go to hospital, they don't have long waiting times, they don't have to spend, you know, sometimes days on a bench or sitting on a foam or, you know, in a wheelchair in a corridor waiting to see a doctor. And of course, the cost, they're outsourcing the diagnostics to the private sector. It's costing the government a lot because they don't maintain the machinery and equipment that's in the public health system. We have to have a proper maintenance program for the equipment in the public health system, so that you don't have to outsource at great cost those things to the private sector. So these are some of the things that we're focusing on. Give me a reminder what else I need to. The transport system. Yes, mommy, I heard you. Powerful talk about the buses. The truth of the matter is, my recollection is that the JUTC, when we were in government, they were carrying over 62 million riders per year. Now it's down at what? 18 million riders. So they've depleted the capacity of the JUTC. It's the buses that are not there that they should. We were having over 400 buses on the road every day. It's much less than that. So we're going to have to revamp the management of the JUTC, put a strong board in place, and then we're going to have to invest some money in restoring it to what it was. I mean, they're talking about a rural bus system using JUTC, but how are they going to effectively provide a rural bus system when they can't even provide an urban system, and it's an urban transport company? So we know that is just talk, empty talk. It's like the steam engine that they say they're going to get running. It runs for 2 or 3 weeks or a couple of months.